Hello and welcome to another episode of The Engineer. This time I'm going to be playing on Dawnbreaker in the tank, and I'm going to be playing on the US side on a game of Conquest Large, and it is a massive ticket server. So we're going to be looking at 1600 tickets, I think it starts at, and the game's going to be going on for quite a while. I'm going to go on a bit of a kill streak. I think it's about 60 kills this one, and then I don't know what happens, it gets really hectic partway through the video. I think I've included it, and we get taken down but then spawn back in the tank and go on another bit of a kill streak. But this one was such a fun game because flags were being capped left, right and centre. They were coming from behind us, coming from in front of us. Tanks were spawning everywhere because it was fast spawn, and you know, it was hectic the whole way through. And I didn't have a dedicated gunner either, so just had people jumping in and out of the tank and repairs coming from everywhere. So a lot of fun. Thought I'd stick it on YouTube for you guys to watch with a bit of a commentary over the top, letting you know what I've run with and some of my thoughts on this map. Dawnbreaker, in fact, is actually one of my favourite maps for the tank. I really do enjoy it, especially if I've got someone on my team in the helicopter or in another tank or the AA gun, because you can work together pushing different lanes and really hold back the enemy and win the game. If you've got a couple of vehicles working together, you can pretty much dominate any map as long as you know where you're going, where the cover is and where the best spots to push are. So this is what I tend to do when I'm playing on the US side. I sit next to Alpha and then push up onto Charlie, or I sit next to Bravo and push up that lane and just sort of clear out as much as I can, letting the infantry and other small armoured vehicles push up onto the actual flag itself. Sometimes, like then, when I see that we're not getting the burn but we've also got a couple of people on there, I'll push up just to make the difference, because then two people can often swing the tide on the flag and then you start to burn it yourself. Getting an angle there on the destroyed bridge, I take down that tank. The guy's repairing, but it doesn't really matter. I want to get that tank back into the spawn as soon as possible. Spot these guys just hanging around in that little doorway and get locked. So the first thing I'm doing is getting straight out of there, because you can see on the minimap there are tons and tons of infantry, so I don't want to find myself getting stuck. And I back up into this little doorway and get tricked by somebody. I don't know who it is, but they pop the little barriers on the floor, so I do like a complete 180 flip or something weird. So reverse myself around this corner. Haven't got APS, a bit low on health, so I just want to get myself in a comfortable position where I can get repaired by my gunner. As you can see, we're already on like a 25 streak at the minute, so not too bad to start the game off. And we've also got the majority of the flags on the enemy, so we've got ourselves a nice little lead at the same time. That's something to remember as well when you're in the tank, and even if you're a very good tanker or you're just someone who likes to casually just have a go around in the tank, make sure you never expose yourself to the enemy with the sides of your tank. Always leave yourself less than a 90-degree angle. If you do that, then you'll only take the minimum amount of damage from an enemy. So as you can see now, I can see there's a tank over there, so I'm facing him sort of forwards face on. He's facing me sideways, so I can deal the maximum amount of damage to the side of him. And you know, they don't last long, tanks, when they take a hit in the back or the side. I'm also using these sort of boxes or crates in front of me as cover, but this is where it starts to get really hectic in this position here. Now I could back off, but to be honest, I like the sort of hectic nature of Battlefield. I like being right in the thick of it and trying to take down enemies that are right in front of me behind cover, pushing the enemy back, especially on a fast spawn server. I'm not really the type to just sit back and try and go for the biggest kill streak going. I like to be a bit, you know, a bit more aggressive in my nature towards that sort of stuff. Pushing this corner, I see that tank's taking some damage. It's a bit of a risky one pushing past all that infantry, but we need to take Delta back because they're starting to get a stronghold there. He misses his shot. I turn my tank just slightly to the right so he can't get that critical hit, and also pop my APS just as I see an RPG coming in, so I don't take any damage, take him down, and we managed to get the push onto Delta. As you can see on the minimap, all the infantry now can push around this side and sort of pincer the enemy infantry that are on Delta itself. So we've actually pushed around and taken that flag. At the same time, Charlie's been capped by our team, so we've done a very good push there and managed to cap it all. This is something that you have to really do though when you're on this map. There's no point in sitting in Delta and just shooting up on the hill towards Echo on the base. You need to, especially on a fast build server, you need to get back around the back of this building. Always go around the back, don't go down the middle lane, because you always get shot in the back. So you go around the back and then get back onto essentially the most important flag, in my opinion, for the US side is the Bravo flag, because if the enemy team get that, they can easily wrap around and take all three lanes on this map, and you're going to find yourself in a really tricky position. Now this is what I'm talking about with being aggressive. This was a silly push, pushing around on the wrong side of Delta, but there was something around there that I had to kill. Found myself a bit exposed, managed to save my APS and stay alive, get away from the locks, take down a couple of people as I drive around the corner and get myself into cover. Can't really remember why I went round there, but I think I was trapped by C4 behind me or something, so I had to make a move, but it was a silly push, so never really do that unless you're forced to. And then my gunner, who was in my squad, jumps out and starts to repair the tank, give myself a little bit of health back so I can at least take one hit from an RPG in the front or something like that, getting a nice multi-kill on those head glitching enemies over there behind the wall. Being in this position here is a really dangerous one if the enemy have Delta, because you are kind of stuck from all sorts of angles. You have the crates in front of you, but unless you can get a decent angle on the tank like I did there, getting myself a nice 34 hit, you're going to find yourself getting shot from the side, from either the water side or the central lane in the map. It's really difficult, especially as you can see now 2 tanks are there, because you know it's not really somewhere where you want to be. You want to be face onto the tanks and know where they're both coming from, but as there are 2, I'm kind of stuck, and I get so many hits on both the tanks. I think I deal like 6 or 7 hits throughout the course of these clips, and that's what I'm saying. When you turn yourself just onside, that was the wrong thing to do. I should have faced the incoming RPG, but as I turned myself side on, I took a critical hit, managed to get a headshot on the guy. But as I said, this is a really horrible one to be pushing and trying to take. The tank pushes me and again gets a critical hit on me. Quite poor from my perspective then. I shouldn't have let him have that angle, as he gets another shot and I decide to jump out and repair. We do actually manage to stay alive in this situation. We do take the tank down. We take both tanks down, in fact, which I didn't really expect to do, but with the infantry's help we managed to do it, keeping an eye on that C4 that's being thrown around the corner. That's the last thing I want to happen, get taken out by C4. But this is why I love Dawnbreaker. It's absolutely hectic on Conquest Large 64 player servers. There are so many vehicles, the buildings are high, the angles are always there for enemies to get shots at you, and you can always get behind a bit of cover. There are quad bites flying around, there's AA guns, there's just everything, and that's why, to be honest, it probably, apart from maybe Shanghai, which I quite like, this is probably one of my favourite maps. But as you can see, we've been stuck in this little situation next to Delta for quite a while now, and as I see that guy parachuting down, just roll forward and get a lucky roadkill on him. I thought he was going to be running away from me, but get a roadkill on him. Definitely coming down with the C4, that's why you need a gunner, because he pointed him out to me. And then once again I push this tank on the corner because I can see that he's exposed, he's jumped out to repair. I can maybe get a lucky shot on him. As I do, take him down, and then behind cover you can see these snipers just sitting there. I know they've got C4s and RPGs, so just get myself out of there. I know the other tank hasn't spawned right now, so I can actually turn around and drive the wrong way, which you're not really supposed to do, but drive the wrong way and maybe take down a couple of infantry and let my infantry themselves push up. Now this is where the streak actually ends. I forgot that this was a fast spawn server. As I drive around here, there is an enemy tank up in my base and I haven't got APS, so I turn myself around and decide just to take him on head on as my gunner behind me tries to repair. I get 3 hits on him before he takes me down, hit him with the RPG, get the disabled on him. He's down to 5 HP and he shoots me in the back. So not a bad streak, to be honest. But again, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't realise that tank was there. It was a 67 streak. Once again, spawning in the tank, and from then on, the game was pretty much won for our team. So I was just trying to cap some flags, trying to take down a few enemies, get a nice shot on that helicopter. Again, I'm running with my usual setup of AP shell, HMG, thermal optics, thermal camo, because I find that that's working a lot better for me than autoloader was. I can get myself hidden from enemy tanks and get flanks on them a lot easier. As you can see now in the background, for example, I'm pushing around on this tank. He doesn't know where I'm going. Tried to shoot him in the back, but I only get a 25 hit, but it doesn't really matter because the damage is already done. Go for the ram because I'm in the Abram tank, and the Abrams can flip other tanks if you ram them because of the way that it's designed. So that's something to bear in mind as well. If you've got another tank, a T90 or a Type 99, just ram into them if you've run out of ideas or you're in a bit of trouble, and they'll ramp on top of you and you can shoot them underneath and get a nice mobility hit. I hope you guys did enjoy it. 83 for 2 in the end. I think we did die right at the very end as well. I don't really know what happened. I think we got C4'd right as the game was about to end. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you want to see some more kill streaks, some more commentaries, anything like that, let me know in the comments. I hope you did enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.